tell me the whole process. How do you plan this thing? This series I'm talking about specifically, the Beast Games, right?
Oh boy.
Like give me like step by step, how many steps are involved. Obviously you can't tell everything because it will take like 5 days.
Well, that's
but give me like the short version because it's insane to think. And the other thing is you don't even know whether it'll perform or no. So how do you proof check that?
I know,
in your
right?
head?
Isn't that crazy?
Right?
Like I threw everything. We put everything I have into this. Like,
and how do you check it? Like at every point, oh, this will work, this will not work, because
you have to have blind faith. You have to have, that's the thing. I don't know, right? Technically, I don't know if this will perform or not, but I lost a lot of money filming this outside of the money they gave me. Like I said, I threw all my people at it.
How much money did you lose? Okay, give me that.
Tens of millions. Like I poured tens of millions on top of the money I was given to make this work.
So you didn't make any money out of it?
Oh, no. I would have way more money if I never filmed it. way more money.
Why do you do, I mean, let it be. Like, I think tons of podcasts have asked you the same question.
Because the goal here is to make the greatest show possible. It's not to make money, right? Like which you can see when you watch it. Like you can tell, like the goal is just to make phenomenal content. But yeah, so obviously step one is you just like, I've wanted to do this for years, but we just kind of had to figure out what would make this different than a typical reality challenge show. Because one thing I think you might have noticed when you're watching is like, if you watch normal reality shows, like they do a lot of cutaways and takeaways. So like something will happen and they cut to someone like in a room, like, you know, that they filmed after the show and get their thoughts on it, which I don't like. There's a lot of things that normal reality shows do that I didn't like. And so step one was like, how are we going to be different, right? Just like on YouTube, we didn't do what everyone else did. We formed our own lane. I wanted to figure that out. So, watched quite a few reality shows and just took notes on like, I don't like that they do this. I don't like that this, I don't like that. And then once we kind of figured out like what I think first principles wise would be an optimal reality show. Like, again, I don't care what other people do. What do we think a 21st century reality challenge show should look like? Once we kind of wrote those principles out, then, wrote the whole thing, rewrote the whole thing, which this wasn't me. I have a phenomenal team of people who do a lot of this because obviously I'm also still grinding YouTube 25 days a month, filming and everything we already talked about. So I had to lean on like these just world-class people I have hired. And this
Did you hire anyone specific
for the Amazon? For this? Oh yeah. So we, one day on the Amazon show, like as it was leading up to before we were filming, I walked on set. There was over 1,000 people on set. Some of them building sets, other of them writing, some of them running cables for the camera. I mean, like it's like absurd. Like so, but yeah. So step one is you got to write it. Which I mean, we probably rewrote the show like at least 20 times. I mean, it's like because you don't really know what's possible, right? Like at one point I wanted to do this thing that we didn't end up doing, which is like, I wanted to go in a desert and when we had 50 contestants, I wanted to get like 50 machine guns. So picture like 10 machine guns and then below it another row of 10 machine guns, another row of 10 machine guns, another row of 10 machine. So like 5 rows of 10 machine guns each. And then I wanted to put like a mannequin really far out in the desert. And then everyone has a different color bullet and be like, all right, everyone shoot that mannequin and get like this cool slow-mo shot with like a phantom camera of everyone just firing these like machine guns, like mounted ones at it. And it's like, okay, 25 of you hit the thing, then they stop. And then we like pull the bullets out of the mannequin. And then what I was going to do is have those 25 people go up top and there's like a platform above the machine guns. And it was basically what we were going to do is give them a bag of, money. And then at any point in the next 7 days, they could drop that bag, they press the button, the 25 people at top and the bag will fall. And then the 25 people that down below, if they shoot it before it hits the ground, they move on. But if they don't, then they're eliminated. And so then it's interesting because I thought this would be like a great episode. It's like, so the 25 people below that are like on these machine guns, like what of the 50 machine guns do they stay mounted on? Like how do they do cycles? Because you got to sleep and you're going to lose attention. So do you do like 2 sets of 12 or 3 sets of 8 or whatever? And then the people up top, are they going to try to drop the bag at night during the day? And they can drop it on the left side, the right side, and they can see the formation of the people down below. And then we were going to give them like 3 decoy bags. So like they could drop them to see like what times the people are paying. I thought this would be really cool. Right. So we have this thing and we put all this planning and effort into it. And then it's like, yeah, you can't just have 50 machine guns spraying in a desert. And so it ends up not happening. And that's not a thing. But so that because we're writing things that have never been done before, you don't know. And so it's a lot of like, I think this is sick. Let's do it. And then people are like, that's not possible. And I'm like, figure it out. And they're like, that's not possible. I'm like, figure it out. And they're like, that's not possible. And then I'm like, okay, maybe that's not possible. All right, I'll rewrite it. Yeah, or the team will rewrite it. Not specifically me. I have a phenomenal guy named Tyler who directs or helps me with a lot of the stuff. And so like we legitimately rewrote the show like 20 times.
Here's a hypothetical question. Okay. If it really works and breaks all the records, what would be the one reason why it'll work? And if it really tanks, what do you think will be the reason it'll tank?
The reason why I think it would work is, I mean, we just looked at it from first principles. Like we hired the best in the world to help make the show, that have done the best unscripted stuff. But, we just didn't do things the way they normally do. Like after we finished filming the show, we threw this after party to celebrate with the crew. It was great. Everyone's having a good time. I had so many different of our producers and people who worked on the show come up to me and go like, I've worked on unscripted shows for 20 years, decades. And like, they're like, this is the most unscripted show I've ever been on. Like, you guys didn't tell people how to act. You guys just let the contestants, you created this own mini world where the contestants were just them, and you just captured it, and you had the infrastructure to capture it, and you didn't make them be people they're not, and like a lot of these things. And so that's one reason why I think it'll do well. Another is like, no one's ever built sets like these. Like that first set you saw, like you could fit all of Wipeout in there. You could fit all of Jeopardy in there. You could fit all of American Ninja Warrior, all three of them in there. And it still wouldn't be as big as that first room. So the grandiose of the sets, I mean, no one's ever had this many contestants. No one's ever had this large cash prize. We gave away more money than any game show in history.
थैंक यू सो मच ये क्लिप एंड तक देखने के लिए. अगर आपको और भी ऐसी क्लिप्स देखनी है तो राज शमानी क्लिप्स चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए.